In this video, we'll take a look at the difference between local trucking and regional trucking. Let's have a look. Local trucking refers to driving routes that are within a certain radius of your home base. These truck drivers typically make multiple stops throughout the day. When it comes to local truck driving, one of the main advantages is that truck drivers will typically be home daily, which means they get to spend more time with their family. They also don't have to deal with the isolation as much being out on the open road that typically comes with OTR trucking. They also don't have to deal with the isolation as much that comes with OTR trucking. Here are a few more good things about local trucking. A lot of these local trucking companies, they usually don't run on the weekends. So if you're looking for your Saturdays and Sundays off, that can be a pro for you. Another good thing about these guys is they have small trucks. So that's gonna make it easier to back in tight spots. Or if you have to make a U-turn behind a warehouse, it's definitely gonna be a lot easier. If you're looking for a more stable schedule, you can check that off your box because local truckers, they're typically gonna have a steady schedule Monday through Friday, and that's always good, especially if you have a family. If you're a local truck driver, regional truck driver, subscribe to the channel. Oh, one more thing, don't forget to smash that like button. These guys are typically gonna have shorter drives because, like I said before, you're gonna be making multiple stops throughout the day. So your next stop can be just a mile up the road, and you're making like up to 14 different stops a day as a local truck driver. Especially if you're working for Cisco or Saya, XPO Logistics, those guys have multiple stops throughout the day, but they're home daily. Some of the local companies are also going to pay you by the hour. So if you're looking to get paid by the hour and overtime pay, and you don't want to worry about getting paid by the cents per mile, local trucking companies can be good for you. When it comes to local truck driving, there's also some cons. Let's check them out. Typically, it's not uncommon to work up to 12 hours a day as a local truck driver, making multiple stops. I'm sure they even push it to 13.5 hours. Oh yeah, when it comes to local trucking, you're definitely gonna have a lot of city driving. So if you don't mind driving in Seattle, Chicago, New York, then check out the local companies. It's not easy. You're gonna have to manually unload and load your trailer. Not with all of them though. But typically you're gonna have to manually unload your trailer with a pallet jack. Regional trucking is a middle ground between local and OTR. These truck drivers typically stay within a geographical area, such as myself, I'm a regional truck driver. So example is I cover 4 states, Washington, Idaho, Montana, and Oregon, Pacific Northwest. Or you can be covering the Midwest or the East Coast. Typically we're gone only for 1 to 2 days, maybe 3. It really depends on where you're going, but usually no longer than 3 days. That's a lot better than being gone for weeks or months at a time like OTR truckers. I gotta give it up to them. I don't know how they do that. I couldn't do that. Here are a few pros to regional trucking to consider. Job security. Not really gonna have to worry about looking around for a job because for the most part, if you're pulling reefers, everybody needs to eat. Regional truck driving offers work-life balance, so that's always good. Although, some of these regional trucking companies, they're gonna have you out for 5 days, maybe a week. Another benefit is you get to stay in your geographical area. So that being said, you get to learn it really well. And trust me, in the mountains, comes in handy in the wintertime. Here are a few cons to consider because just like any job, there are some cons, which are slip seating. If you don't know what that is, basically you're not assigned to any truck. A lot of drivers are using the same truck, and unfortunately some of them make a big mess and trash the truck, and it's just nasty. That's a huge con because obviously you want your own truck and you want to make it your home. Another con is some of these regional trucking companies, you're gonna have to have experience. So that can be a big bummer if you're locked into a contract with another company because you have to use them to get your CDL license. But hey, do your time and eventually you can switch. A lot of the regional trucking companies, you're not gonna have time for anything. You pretty much have to take your 10 hours off and then hit the road again. It's not that big of a deal though, really, but some people, they don't like that. So basically a summary, local trucking offers a more stable schedule and an opportunity to be home every night. And regional trucking offers a balance between the two. That's why it's my personal favorite. But ultimately, the choice between local trucking and regional trucking really comes down to the personal preference and the lifestyle that you have or that you're looking for. All in all, you just gotta think about the time you're willing to spend away from your friends and from your family. So choose wisely.